great, influential, prominent, profound German philosopher, cultural critic, philologist, and writer Friedrich Nietzsche said, "To live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering." Meaning, when we choose to live, we basically choose to suffer because life itself is suffering. It is essentially and principally based on suffering, sadness, and sorrow, which is inevitable to it. And there's nothing that we can do to avert that reality because life, as I said earlier, is fundamentally based upon the principle of suffering, sorrow, and sadness, and it is going to continue to exist moving forward emotionally, mentally, and psychologically, no matter who we are, what we do, or however success, wealth, or prosperity we achieve in our lives, we cannot escape or run away from suffering of life under any circumstances and situations. So when we sign up for living, then we also sign up for a great deal of necessary or unnecessary suffering, which can be used to either improve oneself or degrade oneself into oblivion. So the act of living is basically the act of suffering because life is equivalent to suffering itself. So when we choose to live, we choose to suffer. But when we survive, on the contrary, we are at least able to find some degree of meaning, worth, or significance in the midst of the unnecessary or undesirable suffering to which we are subjected by life itself, which is natural and therefore unavoidable. So there is difference between just living and surviving, whereas living is suffering. When we live, we suffer, but when we survive, when we are able to survive through intellectual developments and the attainment of virtues and mental faculties, then we are at least able to discern suffering itself and are able to extract and fetch some degree of meaning, worth, and significance from it. And that helps us internally as well as externally to navigate storms, sufferings, and tempests, which are obviously merciless and malevolent in nature. So when we survive, we are able to discover some measure of meaning even in the midst of unnecessary or unexplained suffering, which is primarily associated with life itself and also the human condition, and therefore inescapable. So to live is basically to sign up for suffering itself because when we live, we suffer. The act of living is the act of suffering. So that's how it works. The action of living is basically the action of suffering, but surviving is the attempt to find some meaning